All right, everybody, welcome back. Continuing day two, just want to give you a couple quick updates on Sunscreen. So far, we had a couple really good interviews.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very informative and fun.
Tarek and Kyle.
Yep. And Kyle has a lot of good information on that app, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out.
Yeah, it's already downloaded. I've signed up. I will say to start getting into the algorithm and all the fun stuff, you have to review and rate 15 movies.
Okay.
That was the first thing we had. I haven't sat down.
That's easy
obviously
for
we're
me.
at the film festival. It's not like you could sit down for 30 minutes and start typing reviews and stuff like that. So that is a plan for when I get home or next week when the film festival is over. But I do like how it forces, this is meant to be a social thing, and you need. The whole point is you're reviewing so your friends can see what you think.
Exactly.
So it's making you do that from the get-go.
Yep.
And it says a minimum of 15, it doesn't seem like a lot. And honestly, I haven't dived too hard into it, but you can give it 5-star and say it was good. That's a review.
Yeah.
They're not asking you all right, tell me about the script writing.
Yeah,
and how did that?
They don't want a paragraph and a half for each scene.
Yeah, they don't want my 6 pages of notes on that one movie we watched.
Oh boy, good times, man. But so far, it's just a little bit after 3. There's quite a few short blocks going on right now. There's a feature going on that my friends Rob and Andrea came up here to come check out.
Rob, you'll remember, was a guest on the show back when we first started.
Yep. A long time ago.
Many moon ago.
Yes.
Galaxy far, far away.
At least one apartment ago.
Yeah.
At least one apartment ago.
And so they went and saw. So originally they were going to go try to do the comedy shorts block, and they were just a little too late for that. So they went for some of the animation shorts block. But then he texted me that they're going to see the movie All the Wrong Ingredients.
Okay.
So let's see what All the Wrong Ingredients is all about.
There is the sci-fi shorts block tomorrow. That it's in the middle of the afternoon, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to go away. But there is a movie in there called 1886. And it's only about 6.5 minutes long, and it is fantastic. I was lucky enough to preview it for Doug and Ben to see and I feel like this is award worthy. This is an amazing movie.
Nice.
And I know Doug liked it, and Brian really liked it.
Well, you never know. You might get to be able to walk away for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
But so
It's the first time he's ever lasted 6 minutes.
No, right? So, All the Wrong Ingredients, it says, I may butcher this name. Director is Nicholas Livanos, Livanos. So I apologize, Nicholas, if I pronounced that wrong. About an hour and 27 minutes long. So here's the description. So, crush the competition or get banished to a Burger King. A driven young chef reluctantly partners with his out-of-control imaginary friend to make a genius dessert. It's a test kitchen opportunity like no other. Win, and you're an instant A-lister. We're talking your own restaurant, cookbook, TV deals, and more. Lose, and you're blacklisted from the world of fine food forever.
Wow.
Goodbye dreams. So Chef Ben throws his ambition into overdrive, but with a singular focus, what happens to the rest of his life? Question mark.
So I'm envisioning Ratatouille meets Drop Dead Fred.
Okay.
With a little bit of Hell's Kitchen in it.
Yeah.
It's actually got kind of a cool looking poster on it too. Bunch of ingredients.
Yeah?
So
I've seen the menu.
I'm actually going to ask because Rob and Andrew said they were going to come up and see us when they're done with that. So maybe have them on.
Yeah.
See how they, like you said earlier, see how
they-
they're liking
well,
it,
yeah,
enjoying it. But I also
exactly.
want to see what their review of this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
We can get live updates of interview
Let's go to the
movies.
phones. No, still no phones. Okay.
And as you guys know, like you said, Rob had joined us before, and he's definitely has a good taste for movies as well. So I always trust his opinions on stuff. But yeah, so then we got today also Labyrinth of the Mind shorts block. There's
Seems like a real Saw block.
and then there's one at 4:15 called Fallen Drive. That's a full-length feature. At 5:15, comic book to film. I believe this is like one of the workshops. Comic book to film. How making a comic or graphic novel can help get your movie made.
Yeah.
And then at 6 p.m. you got the Green Flash, and at 6:15 the Twilight Tales shorts block. And then 6:15, you got your movie that you've been wanting to see, Savage.
I really want to go see Savage.
Well, we should be done by around 5:36, so if you want to go check it out, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to check it out, if someone comes up and says, hey, can we get a quick interview, we can handle that if you want to check it out.
It just means
We don't need you, Patrick.
People hear all of us all the time, so if
Yeah.
one of us happens to be absent for a few minutes.
Well, we
Or an
met
hour and a
Brian
half.
a couple of years ago via the film festival, and
Yeah.
we've become friends, and we're all on each other's social medias, and he's been working on this project for at least the last year, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing all these constant updates, and I was like, I'm seeing all the behind the scenes photos, I'm seeing like when he's writing and everything, and I was like, man, at this point I have to see this movie.
Yeah.
And it just looks dope. Like even the promotional material, the trailer, everything. Like I gotta see this movie.
When I first thought of I thought of Brian. I didn't say it earlier because I was going to, and then we got sidetracked with another part of the conversation. But when we were talking with Tarek, and he was talking about doing an action movie,
I immediately thought of Brian.
I was like, dude, while you're here, actually, he's still going to be here. So if we run into
see,
him,
he's going to direct the action movie. It's his friend that wants to be the action star and the choreographer.
Well, yeah,
so his
but-
friend needs to link up with Brian.
well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, he could probably help out with that connection since he is right here and Brian is right here. But
Yeah.
if we see him roaming around again later, I'll be
They
like, hey,
are
just ask
right
for the
here.
guys. Yeah, they're right here, right now, right here, right now. So anyway, on to the next.
Watching the world.
At 8:15, there is the full-length What We Find on the Road. And then, obviously, at 9 p.m., there's the Filmmakers Party. It's 70s themed.
yeah, I saw that.
If only John Travolta was here. We were
Yeah.
just talking about it
Bong,
last
bong,
week.
bong,
But
bong.
at 9 p.m. there's an event at the Birchwood.
That's what I'm talking
That's the
about.
film.
That's the
Oh, is it?
Filmmakers
It's
Party.
70s themed.
I thought that one started at 9 and not 7.
I said
They
9.
said
Oh, I thought you said 7.
No.
Oh. Well,
Did
then
I
my
say so?
apologies.
No, you said
Okay,
nine.
good. I was like, listen, my brain's all messed up as is. I don't need to be.
We've only been here for 7 hours, John.
I know, right? Let's see what this, at 3:45, it's that Labyrinth of the Mind shorts block. So let's see what some of the things are in there. You got Superstar. After a prolonged...
Superstar.
I'm glad you two did that. After a prolonged hiatus from the public eye following a tragic car accident, Frankie, a rising actress, prepares to give her first TV interview while trying to deal with her deteriorating hallucinogenic psychosis.
Oh.
Interesting. Let's see. Toast. This is a 5-minute short or 5-minute 10-second short. Toast is an exercise in shutting down the frontal lobe during the writing process in hopes of catching lightning in a bottle, both in written word and corresponding imagery. A 5-minute waterfall of automatic cadence about how we as humans argue and negotiate with ourselves every morning over the simple task of getting out of bed and what massive consequences that seemingly small decision has over our lives. Featuring voiceover performance by Annie Award winner Ella Purnell, Netflix's A Crane, Showtime's Yellow Jackets,
I've heard of Yellow Jackets.
and animation by Emmy winner Jason Carpenter, starring Alicia and Renee Herbert, executive produced by Indie Spirit Award winner Liz Cardenas. This visual poem is inspired by the shared ethos of Jack Kerouac and Jackson Pollock as an attempt to tap into
That's a unique combination.
an unbridled source of flow state creativity. And yes, that was very hard to read that whole thing.
That was very hard to comprehend, and I was just listening to
That's
it.
why I made pauses.
Yeah.
You were reading?
Get those first 2 sentences in, let it sink in. Next 2
I
sentences.
think Tony was looking at my eyes. He's like, all right, loud circus music just started playing. Let's give Patrick a couple of seconds to turn that off.
Let's see. Harlem Fragments is also playing. An Afro-futurist scrapbook storytelling of a Harlem black family's beautiful destruction during the 2008 recession, a natural disaster so mesmerizing you can't look away from the tragedy based on true events.
Look past away the financial crisis of 2008.
What's that?
You couldn't look away from the financial crisis of 2008.
You could look away, but it's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
It still is here.
Well, a lot of people lost their homes
2.0.
because of that financial crisis. So,
Yeah.
2.0 is what's happening right now.
but I'm not going to read through every one of these for the listeners out there. Sorry if this is one of your films, and I'm going to give the titles out though, so because there's a lot of description to a lot of these. So, The Folly of Paris, or the original snub, Amends, E-Wing, Distancia, Room Tone, and there's also Get Your Ducks in a Row. So that is for that shorts block, and that's going.
Let us know in the comments which one you would want to see based on the titles. Because
Yes.
based on the titles, Ducks in a Row seems like just an enjoyable film.
It does, doesn't it?
If I read the description, it's like one axe murderer goes after another one because he killed his baby. Like, what?
So this this one is interesting. I think somebody may have mentioned this. I think maybe Doug or somebody may have talked about this or given us a heads up on this one.
Okay.
It's a workshop. Was it? I know I'm not an idiot, but I'm trying to figure out how to say this word. The very first one. Demystifying? Is that what that is?
Yeah, demystifying.
Demystifying virtual production and LED volumes, practical applications, insights into virtual production and LED technology. Why does that sound familiar? I know someone talked to us about this before.
I couldn't tell you.
Maybe Doug had brought it up, but
I don't remember that sentence, but I've already forgotten.
I think I think Doug was on one of our shows before, and he was talking about a movie that was using this technology.
Okay.
Or
That
something
could be.
along those lines. So I want to see what this. Let's see what this description says. Learn from the industry-leading experts and local professionals working with LED volumes, ideal for industry professionals and newcomers eager to embrace new technologies. Tony Armour's moderating it, and then the speakers are Tim Moore from VU Studios, or Daniel Malik at VU Studios, Christian Kashmir Lightwave at Lightwave Media, and Zach Moore of Coastal Creative. So those are people who will be talking about that. And
We were
then
at Coastal Creative last year. They
Yep.
are
Yep.
a creative space for people like content creators that need a rent a studio, basically. It's a very
Yep.
nice facility.
and then there's Documentaries 101. That's going on at 4 p.m., 4 to 5. That's another workshop. It's our experts take you through the creation, distribution, and importance of this ever-expanding film genre.
And I really hope Tarek goes because I want to hear that voice actor documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what Fallen Drive. So Fallen Drive is the feature at 4:15. Directors Nick Cassidy and David Rice. Why does that name sound? Why does Nick Cassidy sound familiar
I
to
thought
me?
the exact same thing.
I mean, as in
Did we meet him
You mean
last
Butch
time?
Cassidy?
Could
No.
be.
That name sounds familiar. Like we maybe had him on as a guest here at the film
Was it
festival.
Dave Cassidy?
Nick Cassidy and David Rice. So here's the description. On the night of their high school reunion, Charlie and her boyfriend, Reese, have come with plans to exact revenge on former classmate Liam. The plan to stage the same heinous crime he committed in high school, but this time collect the evidence to prove his guilt. There's a lot of tears in his eyes. So that sounds kind of cool. And then let's see, what's the blue? Is that the Q&As?
I don't know. They took down the legend on these things.
Or maybe it's another feature. Let's see here. I'm going to read a little bit about this one. That the
Blue is feature.
okay. What's
I think so.
Yellow's feature too? Then
Yeah, well, I know Q is that's a feature film. It may be like documentary.
okay. So this one that I mentioned earlier, this workshop on the comic book to film. Let's see here. Discover how these visual storytelling forms can lay the groundwork for successful movies, narrative techniques, visual planning, and industry insights. Dave DeBorde is mediator. Let's see here. Oh, Tony Armour is one of the speakers.
So when you Google Nick Cassidy, the only thing that comes up is a New Zealand race car driver.
Okay. It might have been somebody we met here then, like just an indie filmmaker. Not
Oh, wait,
just an indie film, but an indie filmmaker. But no, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of great stuff that's happening here. What we find on the road, I don't know if I read that one.
Oh, we met this dude like 3 years ago, like first ever podcast at Film Festival.
Okay, so I knew the name.
Yeah.
I said I probably was here. Which one was he? I'm trying to think now.
Here's the photo that clinched it for me.
Okay.
He was the one that came on with Michaela.
Oh, yes. No. Was that him?
I thought so.
I thought that guy's name was Bo something.
Oh yeah. Well, I have no idea who this guy is.
but his name sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
So what we find on the road is the feature featuring at 8:15 to 9:30. On his 18th birthday, TJ receives a key from his estranged ex-con father. The key unlocks a time-worn 68 convertible and a challenge to drive across America in hopes of repairing his sense of family, supported by a band of lovable oddballs and held together by humor and grit. TJ discovers that sometimes the longest road is the fastest way to home.
Aw.
It sounds kind of interesting. Let's just read this here real quick. All right, so for everybody who wants to go to the after party at 9 p.m. that's 70s theme, the Filmmakers Party at the Birchwood, welcome to the disco. From bouncy beats to hair that scrapes the ceiling and disco balls.
This will happen like 4 days before.
And disco balls as far as the eye can see. Our 1970s disco-themed Friday night filmmaker happy hour is a casual gathering that gives all the filmmakers the opportunity to mix, mingle, and chat. This is a great way to get to know and network with filmmakers and 19th Sunscreen Film Festival attendees. Wear your best 70s disco outfit. That may be a little difficult for me because I do not have any 70s disco outfits.
You could use that shark skin outfit from last year.
That's not 1970s style, man. But anyway, so that's a little update for you guys. We'll keep you going. We got more interviews as soon as these showings get released.
We have
in
one
next little bit.
scheduled for an hour from now.
Yep, we do have one at 4:30. But we'll tell you more about that as we get to it. So until next time, or the next 20 minutes, we are your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
That's Wall.
All right, guys, take care. All right, everybody, welcome back to Movie Talks and Chill. We're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Rob Sloan.
Andrea Sloan.
Hello. And so are you two related?
We are.
So
To our viewers, Andrea's here against her will.
Yep. She said, no bueno. So they are, everybody should remember Rob. He was on the show with us filling in for Mr. Gavin one time a while back, and he was able to add some good insight to some stuff. But they came up here to check out the film festival, check out some films they just recently saw. Why don't you just tell us what you saw?
We saw All the Wrong Ingredients.
All the Wrong Ingredients. So how was it? What'd you think? Tell us a little bit about it.
It was really good. It was about a guy who's in a cooking competition, and he's trying to come up with this award-winning dessert, so he can win the competition and really set himself up for good life. And it was really quite good, and it took some odd kind of turns. It was about his imaginary friend who comes to help him, create this dessert. So it was a lot of really good, sort of out of this world. Take a step back, going to false reality kind of thing. Actually, what it kind of reminded me of was the movie Sucker Punch.
Okay.
How she kept slipping into her own
It's like a movie
headspace.
within a movie within a movie.
It was a lot like that.
It's like Inception going 3 levels deep. You
Yes.
never go that deep.
Yes.
And it takes you a minute to figure out where you are. You're like, wait, did we just switch into this is something new, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So it was really good. It was quite unexpected and pretty much a very different movie. So
Cool. And you said you checked out some of the animation shorts as well, right? Animation shorts.
yeah, we did some animation shorts before that. There was some. We didn't stay for the whole thing because we wanted to go see the movie, the feature film. But we were able to see some good animations in there. There was one in particular that really stood out to me called Flight, which was done using Unreal Engine. So it was a very realistic looking animation. But not only that, but the story behind it was good too. So
Nice.
That was entertaining.
Very cool. What about you, Andrea? Did you like the films?
I did actually.
Nice.
It was good. This is my first time at a film festival, so I didn't really know what to expect, and it was
Very laid
fun.
back.
Are you
here.
enjoying the vibe so far?
I am. I like the fact that I see a lot of like young kids and students and.
Hook them while they're young. It's like a drug dealer, Get them while they're young.
While
The
the
first one's
imaginations are
always
still going.
free.
Well, that's really cool. Do you plan on seeing anything else, or is there anything in your sights?
Yeah, we might. There's another one coming up.
We basically plan to stay all afternoon, so
Okay.
really whatever
Yeah.
we can get in. we will.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's another one coming up called Savage that I wanted to take a look at.
This guy right here heard those words there. Hey, Brian, why don't you tell him what you did with that?
Savage is a feature film that we produce here in St. Pete in Tampa, and it's basically about a story about a military veteran that comes back home because he finds out that his mom is diagnosed with dementia, and he has to do odd jobs, and he's an underground fighter because he's a veteran military guy. So his commander finds out that his mom is sick. He tries to help him out, but he rejects his offer of money. His commander throws up another response and saying, "Hey, we have a job for you, but it's illegal. You got to be a getaway driver because we're going to rob a government bank." From that point on, everything just blows up, and he has to fight his way out, and it spirals out of control like that.
Wow.
Yep.
That sounds good.
So
gonna see it.
Brian is also AKA Big B, by the way, and he's also, I was telling you, he's the marketing director here for the Sunscreen Film Festival. This is the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I coordinate, do everything, video, photo.
Wearer of many hats.
Yeah,
Chaos.
control the chaos. Yeah, so.
Head control chaos.
And we'll talk a little later, but there's a guy around here, a younger kid. His name's Tarek.
Terry.
Yeah, if you happen to run it, if I see him, I'll point him out to you. We did an interview with him. He had a short film. He wasn't able to get it in. He didn't know about Sunscreen until it was too late, but his buddy was able to get him out here from LA. I told him, hey, resubmit it for next year or whatnot.
Yes.
But
Over in July.
he is looking to do, he's got another idea for a film, an action film, that they're going to do some choreographed fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
I know you're into that stuff, so if I see him, I'll tell him maybe you guys talk.
Please do.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. We're people helping the people.
Yeah,
We help
right.
each other.
That's what it's all about, right?
He hooks
People
us
help
up.
Somebody's got to pay for the lap dances for the big guy.
But yeah, no. So it's a good time.
I'm gonna go walk around.
No, absolutely.
Hot.
Well, thank you,
You're-
Andrea. We'll see you soon.
All right, I'll be
Bye.
downstairs.
Yes, it is warm in the corner with no AC.
Yes.
We have
Well,
a giant-
she's closest to the light too.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
It's bouncing up and coming right back down at
We
it.
have a giant
Yep,
vent
yep.
that's not working.
Yes. A massive vent that doesn't
Yeah.
work. The vent that goes nowhere.
Is it a return air event?
Yeah, I think that's the return. Yeah.
It's a recycler.
Well,
Cool. Right on, man. Well, thank you for giving us those updates. For everybody out there, again, as usual, we will keep you updated with more interviews and continuation of day 2. A lot more to come. But until then, for Movie Talks and Chill, we're your host. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
and I was Rob Sloan.
And you still are, Rob. So. All right, guys, take care. All right. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Movie Talks and Chill. We're your host. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
And to our special guests, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Julia Eringer, and I'm one of the directors and writers of Fire Fucking Fire. We're doing really well already.
We're really doing good, yeah. Yeah. Hi, I'm Rachel Paulson. I'm the other half of the director of Fire Fucking Fire.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We're excited to listen to hear about your film that you have out, and then also we're going to ask you some questions about other projects you've worked on, maybe something if you can talk about future projects.
Yeah.
So let's start out with why you're here at Sunscreen. What you got going on?
So we have a short film that's playing in competition. It's a comedy called Fire Fucking Fire, and it plays on Saturday at 4:45.
Nice. And what is Fire Fucking Fire about?
Me? Okay. So basically, I just do whatever Julia tells me. She's just like, I'm the lead actress, so she's my director, so I'm always just like, what do I do? And she's like, go ahead. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go now. So Fire Fucking Fire is basically about, Allie, who's my character, who essentially like has sex with her rock star crush and then realizes that she's kind of what I like to call a stage 5 clinger and like won't leave her house and basically ends up, I'm not going to tell the end because like I don't want to say that last part, but something bad happens. We'll say that.
Yeah. It descends into like an anxiety dream, nightmare, chaotic situation.
Like a fever dream sort of situation.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
So what was the inspiration to make this film? Like, where did the idea come from?
So Rachel and I were actually starring in a movie together back in 2018, which is crazy that it was so long ago. And during that shoot, some actually pretty famous rock star was DMing
I will not say who
Rachel,
it is. I will not say who it is.
to hang out, and she didn't end up hanging out, but we ended up spitballing about like what would have happened if she had hung out with this rock star,
Okay.
and the idea was really born out of that.
Okay. And what is the length of the film? Is it a full length feature? Is it
No,
a
it's
short?
16 minutes.
16 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
How long did that take to shoot? We like to also get into the technical portion, or at least I do. I'm more of the technical
Yeah,
person
yeah.
on things. So because a lot of times, industry, rule of thumbs like a minute, page per minute, blah blah blah, and then it could take 16 minutes, could take months to shoot, could take a week, could take a couple of days, depending on what you got going on, type of crew, equipment, and availability. How long did it take to shoot?
So the script was 16 pages, and
Oh,
we
wow.
were like, maybe we can cut it, we can make it shorter, and because it's comedy, it should be fast, right? But actually, it was very true to 1 page a minute.
Yeah, it was very true to that. It took us. I wish that we had a few more days. I think 3 or 4 would have been amazing, but we ended up doing it in 2. So
Yeah.
it was.
Oh, wow.
It was rather ambitious. One location though, so it wasn't as
We had
tough.
no company moves,
Yeah.
but we had like a half day build day the day
Okay.
before, so we were able to get in there and dress the set and set up some lights and stuff like that, so we could really just get going.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just a 2-day shoot, which was quick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good though. That's pretty decent.
It was
Yeah.
it was ambitious of us for sure. We did it. We got it done though. It was. I think the hardest part was that whole we have a party scene that happens in the movie, and I think we spent like almost a full day on just that scene.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we really shot everything else in like 1 day.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
You need to spend the most time on the party scene.
I agree. That's the most important part. That's the most important part. Yeah. Obviously.
And from length of time wise, from conception of the idea, pre-production, writing it, production, post-production, how long do you think that time frame? What did that look like?
Well, like I said, so initially, we had this idea, and I went away and wrote a sort of a sketchy type scene based on this idea, and then years later, what was it, last year, we decided to work together, and we started, we have a feature that we wrote together, and then resurrected this idea that we brainstormed and became the short that you're about to see, Fire Fucking Fire, and yeah, so I think from then to completion, it was only about a year, right?
Well, from shooting to completion, it was a year because we shot in March of 2023.
And then we were finished by November.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was 6 months
That's true,
from
that's true.
shooting it to finishing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
actually
pretty
very good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And
We got
writing
lucky.
it, writing it was only a few months before
Before that,
So
yeah.
from
Okay.
writing it all the way through to finishing it.
I would
was
say a year is
year.
probably good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard of movies taking longer.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
mostly the post production.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
so much the upfront.
Yeah, we took a break between the shoot and the edit. We took the summer off, and then went into full post production in July.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, we got pretty lucky, with the team that kind of came together. Everybody moved pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I feel once we hired someone, they were, immediately working.
Yeah.
And I feel that was kind of something, a lot of times people on projects will be oh, I can do this, in 3 months when I'm done with, whatever I'm on. So I think we got really lucky that the people that we kind of hired were, ready to go right away. So,
Yeah. And the reason for that break was we crowdfunded for post.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So during that time, we raised the rest of the money, and shout out to everybody who contributed because they were the fans were amazing.
I mean, we got way more than we thought we would.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's always good too when if you have a good fan base or people that believe in what you do and they're willing to put forth that help and
Yeah.
assistance, that means a lot, and that just makes the movie even more special at the end of the day.
Yeah, it just feels so special that everyone's so many people came out of the woodwork. I mean, everyone I know,
Yeah.
gave money to this. And I was I feel, because you feel kind of weird, asking people, and I think how good the script was. And, we've got a weird fan base between, a movie that we did previously. Not weird, but, people love us based on this other movie. And so I think there was a lot of that going on. And then it was just, it obviously speaks to how strong the project is, because I didn't even have to ask people. I was just asking them to go and look at the page, and then it ended up they're $100 here, $50 here, 100. It's everyone was giving money, so it was just it was really amazing.
Yeah, it was very affirming for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
very cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
So, question is for me, when was it that you got your start, and what is the funniest thing that you've had ever happen on any set you've been on?
Oh, geez.
I can't tell that story.
I told you that story to
Can't
tell
we?
this story.
The vagina story.
The vagina story.
The vagina story.
Oh, Statute of limitations.
Yeah, vagina story can't happen. Vagina story.
I love the fact that it's just on record. Of that.
Exactly.
Just knowing
Vagina
that there's a story
Knowing
called
that there's a story.
called the vagina story.
Yeah.
I think I got my start when I was like a kid. Obviously, my family is in the industry. Both of my sisters are. So I started doing plays and acting and doing all that stuff when I was like basically like a child. But I didn't really get serious about it, honestly, probably till about like 7 years ago, I would say.
Okay.
And then I just did a couple of films, and I met Julia on one of the earlier films, like bigger films that I did. And then after that, we just started collaborating. And I think the funniest thing, I can't tell you, but I think it's the vagina story. That's the funniest thing.
I think we should tell it.
Okay, let's tell it. Go ahead, you tell it.
Okay.
We are officially getting to hear the
because
story.
it's your vagina. So.
Wow.
Even
Wow.
better.
Very good.
You heard it first at Movie Sounds Show, folks. You heard it first right here.
I don't want to tell a story about your own vagina.
Okay,
I
so
think
we
you've just
were-
raised our fan base by about 1 million followers by now.
We were in this movie, Good Kisser, and we play lovers in it, and we were like under covers while they were like changing up lights, and we were just like, we were doing like night shoots for 2 weeks, so we
were slightly delirious.
Yeah. And we were just like get along so well, so we were just like under these red sheets, like laughing so much, and then suddenly realized that we were like also like like body embracing, and she was like, I think your vagina's on my leg, and I was like, she was like, definitely is.
Yep.
And then I was like, also, why are we naked?
Why did you
Like, we could totally have clothes on like
Completely.
tracksuit bottoms or whatever, sweats underneath here, and
We could have had like a bra on.
and then we
even.
just laughed for way longer, and yeah,
They couldn't even. I remember they were like, "Okay, guys, lock it up," because we couldn't even stop laughing, and they were like ready to shoot. I was like, "I'm sorry."
We were like,
her vagina
no,
was
we're
up
not
my leg.
ready.
So it was just, that's one of
We're
the.
going to need a few more minutes.
Yeah,
Just give us a
just
few more
give
minutes.
us like 1 minute to get through this. But yeah, that's honestly, I just had so much fun on that set. I think because obviously, like I knew immediately that Julia was like. It's almost like when you when you like meet someone, or you're like you just know. It's usually like your wife or something, but with her, she's not my wife, but like work wife, yes.
Yeah.
I just like knew. I was like, oh, this person is somebody that like I'm gonna be collaborating with and friends with for a long time, and I think like we just had so much fun from like then on. We had like all these jokes that it was just like such a fun experience
Yeah.
on set.
It was great.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
It was great. I also remember when I hung my panties on like the bed.
I did.
we were really ridiculous.
We were
anyway.
deliriously tired also. Because we were shooting from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. like every day. And so we would like go to bed at 6 a.m. and then we would wake up at like 3 and do like a quick workout and then like go to set and then do it again. So it was, and by like day 5, we were like,
What is
what's happening? It was crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
And then where I got my start.
Yeah. You got trumped by the vagina story, really.
Yeah, I know. You really stole my thunder on that one, Rachel. Yeah, I was actually working in advertising and like had this deep-seated desire to act and like didn't really think that was possible, and then I like secretly auditioned for drama schools and got in. So I went to like a pretty big drama school in the UK, and while I was there I did like a big music video and a movie, and yeah, it just started off like that.
Okay.
It's awesome.
And how many films total have you worked on?
Oh gosh,
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
A lot.
Yeah, it depends if you count the ones that never got finished or came out. There's like a lot of those
Yeah, there's
too,
a lot of
you
those.
know?
Well, I mean, work still
Maybe
goes
like
into it,
50,
though.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe 50 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think together this is our second, and then
Yeah.
there, we have a couple more that we're like in the works that we're kind of talking about doing, especially because the praise around this one has been so strong. I think we should keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for you're here at Sunscreen, have you been at Sunscreen before, or is this
No.
your first time?
It's my first time. I am from here though. I
Okay.
am from Tampa, yeah, originally. So I know a lot of these people. I'm actually shooting a film down here. Julia's in it, so that's good. I'm actually shooting a film, although we may shoot your scenes in LA, so that might be. Oh, we don't know yet. Darn it. But we're shooting a film down here in October of this year. So I've been coming down for about a year, like trying to just kind of meet all the big players in like the film industry down here and kind of doing that. So I met the guys that run this festival and like all the people involved in that, and so that's kind of why we're here and how we even heard about the situation.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Now you met us, so you're.
And now I know you guys.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm moving up in the world. Clearly.
So, how's your experience been here so far at the film festival?
Honestly,
Amazing.
It's been so great, and it's for like a regional festival. Is that what you call them, regional festivals?
I guess, yeah.
For like a regional festival, I feel like there's a lot of like pretty great people here and really great
Yeah.
films here. I I was pretty impressed when I was looking at like the lineup and the panels and stuff like that of like what's going on. It's like a lot of times it's hard to pull that sort of stuff in when it's like, not a Tribeca or a Sundance or something like that.
Yeah.
Or an Oscar qualifying or something. So I was impressed with the lineup, and we've had fun. I mean, we're only here since yesterday, but it was really fun. I mean, I'm excited for tonight. Tomorrow is going to be the craziest day of our lives. I'm like on 2 panels, and I'm gonna have to like bounce back because they're like at the same time. So I'm gonna have to be like, I hope they're close to each other.
Yeah, and then we have our screening. And
Yeah.
That's very
party.
cool.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And are you guys going to be able to check out the after the award ceremony and the after party
Yeah,
tomorrow?
yeah,
Awesome.
we're here
Those
till
are always a
Monday.
really good time. Those
Oh,
are fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, every event that they've done here is a really good time, so I'm not downplaying one for the other, but they really do it up here. And you were talking about like being regional and everything. There's a group of guys we got to meet last year. They keep coming out, but they're kind of like a production team. So, but they all work on movies together. But they're from different countries and stuff, and they spend the whole year going around. Like he called us up after the festival, like a few months afterwards, from Barcelona. And he said, "Hey, man, can we do a quick show?" And I'm like, "This isn't my normal job," but I was like, it was like on a Monday at 11 a.m. I'm at my regular job, and he was like,
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, these clients don't need their trays today.
but he's like telling me who he's got lined up to talk to us and everything. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it, but they get guys from all over. We had one of the guys, Ireland. Last year, he was from Ireland.
He
We get a lot of international people here.
Cool.
So,
And first year we talked to someone from Poland who did that documentary on Bitcoin.
On Bitcoin,
yes.
Ooh, love
Oh, yeah.
that. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's definitely especially for the area. This festival here, it's blown up. It's been a great thing. 19 years or 19th anniversary.
It's been a while.
Technically, it would have been the 20th now, but because of COVID, the first year of
Missed
COVID
it.
shutting down
Right,
everything.
right.
COVID just ruins everything,
It really does. It really does.
But yeah, but because so many people, it's a lot of word of mouth and a lot of experience. So you guys definitely got to keep coming back. Each year.
Yeah,
So.
we're planning on it.
We're planning on. We were just talking about what in our films of like the films that we have can we make in Florida? Like earlier, we were like, what can we do down here?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got some other stuff in the works that hopefully we'll shoot down here eventually.
Well, we've actually kind of talked about that with other people. Like Tampa Bay area has got that unique quality of you can find a home that has like that 20 or like the throwback like colonial century.
Yeah.
And then you've got areas where this you have like Spanish architecture.
No, it's
And of course
crazy.
you got the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually like I was talking about it the other day. I was like, if you shot in like Palma Cia or like Hyde Park or something, like that looks like there's like some of those are like brick roads still.
Yeah.
Like you could literally shoot it as if it was like the 20s or something. Like
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
It's pretty
How
crazy.
exciting.
And even like going down Ybor City,
Yeah.
like a lot of that, and just
the old
just
historic
just be
district.
sure
Yeah.
to involve the chickens that are randomly down
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It really does. I think like as Tampa and St. Pete like comes up, it's like when I was growing up here, it wasn't this way at all. It was not nearly this cool. But as it starts to come up and as I'm like coming back, I'm like, you could really like. There's actually a lot of different like pockets and areas that could kind of be like faked for other places. I feel like.
Well, you have like kind of bigger city looking areas.
Yep.
You have like rural looking areas.
Yep.
Like if you go to like the Brooksville area and stuff like that, you get that kind of country feel. We got rivers here, we got lakes, we got ocean, we got gulfs. I mean, almost any type of scenery you can get
it's
somewhere.
Got it
crazy.
all, wow.
Yeah, it's really good. No mountains, but no
Got to
mountains.
come to New Mexico.
Yeah, we have
for that.
overpasses.
Yeah.
Just
Overpass.
highway overpass. That's our
We got
mountains, really.
concrete mountains.
Yeah, concrete mountains. Yeah.
So you did say you were going to be working on something in October, was it you
Yes.
said? Is there anything you could tell us about that, or is that kind of hush-hush right now?
I don't want to go too much into it, but it's going to be a feature. There's a decent. I can't say her name yet, but there's a good. Her contract just got finished, so I want to make sure. But there's a decent sized director attached. We're gonna like go into some casting stuff soon here. But yeah, it's. I think it's going to be a really cool film. It's really going to showcase the area. I think it's Tampa St. Pete is like a character in the movie, so that's going to be. It's something that like the city kind of causes them to do what they're doing a little bit. So it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be
And
interesting.
the script is amazing.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you. I wrote it as well, so with someone.
Oh, very
I have
cool.
to tell. Will also wrote it. My friend William also wrote it.
I just read it. I didn't write it.
No, she didn't. She just
It's
read
very
it. She didn't
good.
write it.
It's very good.
Very nice. And something else we always like to ask a lot of people here whenever we do interviews with filmmakers, people in the industry. you guys have actually done it. You've been in there. You've experienced it. You've created. You put out your vision. You've come out with a finished product. Any specific advice you would give to any aspiring filmmaker of basically like maybe things to do, not to do, or do you have anything you'd like to advise people out?
Yeah, I think, just start writing. Just like write as much as you can, write from your heart, write from your soul, and get a really good teacher that will help you to curate that and pull out the thing that makes it really special and unique. And then just make it if you have to with an iPhone.
I was just about to say that.
Every time you make something, you learn something, and you'll get the first thing you make might not be that good, but like make another one, and just get better and better. And if you're an actor, put yourself in it, because that's, like we were talking last night, like that's really the only thing that you have control over in this industry. It's the only way you can give yourself an edge, and it also takes the onus off of somebody else. You're not just waiting for somebody to say yes to you. You're actually taking your career into your own hands. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I love that. I think like there's so little in this industry that you can control, as an actor, as a filmmaker, as anyone. And I think if you can control it, control it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're able to make, and nowadays, like the iPhones, they have crazy cameras on them. Like some of them are better than like the old Sonys that people were shooting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's an iPhone 8 commercial where a director shot a commercial just using like 4 iPhones.
Yeah. Or there's like that Olivia Rodrigo video they shot all on like an iPhone. And so with that kind of technology at this point, like, I think that there's such possibilities to just like write something that you love, put yourself in it, and just like shoot it, even if it's you in like a bedroom. Like even if it's like, I just think the more that you make, and I wish I had done that more, because it probably would have elevated me to a different level quicker. So I think that would be my advice. And like, this is so cheesy, but just don't ever stop.
Yeah.
Like this industry will eat you alive, but just if you keep going, it will eventually, like if you really love it and you have to do it, it will eventually, something will hit for you.
Tenacity. And also attending events like this. Like if you may not have a camera, but if you go to a film festival, you might meet a DP who has a camera. You might meet a sound guy who wants to get him. I mean, I just met a DP at Sundance who's done a ton of stuff. He's like, I need more directors in my life. Let's shoot something. And you don't know who you're going to meet and who you're going to gel with, and that becomes your film family. You see them over and over again, the same people at festivals, and that ends up being the people you make stuff with. And so just get out there and meet your people.
Yeah.
And kind of to that point, I think also, in my opinion, like with independent film especially, you really don't have excuses at that point of like why you can't do it, because number one, to your point, with like you got a great phone now. I mean, when I was in my 20s, you'd have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars for either rentals or stock footage and equipment. Even renting equipment was super expensive. But now, again, if you have a phone and a simple mic and some good editing software, I mean, it used to be $10,000 or something to get a decent system. Now you can get some that are free that can do your basic stuff.
An editing feature that rivals some programs.
I know, it's crazy.
And the other thing about it too, with the independent field, it's it's not like the the big studios or the Hollywood lifestyle where you're constantly singing for your supper, begging, trying to figure it out, putting yourself out there, getting rejected. But independent film, people want to help you. Like, people will be like, oh, you need this? Yeah, I can help you out. It's not really like, oh, yeah, pay me. Sometimes they do. But, a lot of times if you just ask and just say, hey, do you want to be in my film? Can you be an extra? Or, hey, I know you've held a camera before. You might be in my... Yeah. Most people don't realize that if you just ask, I mean, the worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I'm a huge advocate of asking for what you want, right? Like, if you want something, obviously within reason. If they say no, then don't badger them. But, I think, I'm a huge advocate of, if you want something, say that you want it. Like, if you want to go somewhere, be like, can I come? And then they're like, no, unfortunately, or sure. It's, if you want someone that, I've had so many people do things where, even I would mention, it's just hard to find good people. And then somebody will be like, well, I'll do it. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. So it's just, I'm a big advocate of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people also don't realize that most of the other people like yourself, like if I just jumped in and started doing independent film, I'm a nobody in the world. But that other person doesn't mean that they're a big somebody. So, they're probably just trying to get their name on a credit just like you are. So a lot of people are just like, yeah, you just make sure my name's in the credits with you.
Yeah.
And we're good to go.
Right.
So I think that's the greatest thing about independent film, and also about with this film festival here. It's, it's everybody is very, agreeable. Everybody is very collaborative. Everybody just wants to work together and network. So that's definitely one reason why we wanted to come out to the Sunscreen and why we keep coming back to be a part of this thing. So because it's been great for us for the past few years, and we're looking forward to the next to come.
Awesome. So cool.
Absolutely. But thank you, ladies, so much for joining. We really appreciate it. And if you're around tomorrow or whatnot, if you happen to stop back up and you want to chat again, let us know. We love having people come over. And if you have some, contact information, we'll send us your email or whatnot, or leave if you have a card. That way we can get you our information. We can let you know when this episode's coming out.
Of course.
But we really do appreciate you joining us. And for you, the fans, continue watching Day 2 of Sunscreen. We got a lot more interviews to go and a lot more weekend to go. But until then, for Movie Talks and Chill, we're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
And our special guest,
Rachel Paulson.
Eringer.
at the same time.
Now you work.
All right, guys, take care.